Hi, it's Jim at BetterPhoto. How would it feel if you knew that you were going to create the best photos you could create and people would come and see your beautiful photography? How would it feel if you could create those photos consistently and get them out into the audience consistently? It's time to say goodbye to feeling overwhelmed by how hard it seems to be, all the complexity, and that sea of information out there. How would it feel if you were able to know that hope wasn't part of the equation anymore? How would it feel for you if you knew for certain that people will come and look and like and comment on your photos? How would you feel if you knew for certain that you would be able to translate that beautiful scene that you witnessed into a gorgeous, stunning photo? And how would it feel if you knew for certain that you were going to be able to successfully share a photo in a way that causes people to stop scrolling and take a moment to really enjoy and appreciate your work? Photography doesn't need to be complicated. And I have a secret system. I have a way that I've found that can really help you make images that jump off the page and bring people to your doorstep. Welcome to Make Images That Pop, a free video workshop to help you make total wow photos consistently and to make them promoted in a way that people will love and enjoy them. If you're just new and you're wondering, where do I start? You're in the right place. Whether you're taking up serious creative photography for the first time, or you're a more intermediate or advanced photographer just looking for inspiration and growth, you have come to the right place. In this first of 3 free videos, I'm going to be sharing my absolute favorite technique for making images that have impact and catch people's eyes. I'm also going to be sharing how to use marketing tools and AI to get images out there more quickly and to get them more promoted. I'm also going to share with you some tips in these videos about marketing as well as AI so that you can be more successful more often. So you can go from photos like this. These are some of my oldies. They make me cringe a little bit. Some of them I like, but I see so many things I can improve. You can go from photos like this to photos that are better and better all the time. And stick around, because near the end of this video, I'm going to share a lightning round of my top techniques and tools. I've been helping people make better photos for almost 30 years. I started BetterPhoto back in 1996. When I first started photographing over 30 years ago, God, I can't believe it's been that long. I was not clear on how to get images that pop. I was not clear on what kind of photography I liked. And I didn't really know how to get off of the auto settings on my camera. Everything was so complicated. And I remember carrying around a little notebook in my back pocket. And I would take notes on what techniques I used. And then weeks later, I would look at the photos, compare the notes, and try to figure out what was the effect that this particular technique had on a photo. But one thing I knew for sure, I knew that I absolutely needed to avoid being boring. I didn't want to be normal. And I also didn't want to stay feeling overwhelmed with all the technical issues of photography or all the technical issues of technology. And most of all, though, I didn't want to be frustrated with blah results. I didn't want to be disappointed with pictures that didn't do justice to the scene. And I often felt unsure as to why this was happening. Can you relate? The good news is that creativity is nothing more than a skill. It's like a muscle. And I learned and developed it. My students learned and developed it. And you can too. Now is the very best time to be learning photography and learning how to promote your work. You can cut at least 10 years off of the learning curve. I worked so hard over the years trying to find solutions. And I discovered the steps to making awe inspiring photos. I really enjoyed the process. And if I were to go back, if I had a time machine, I certainly wouldn't do it the same way again. And I'd like to help you avoid that long trial and error process as well. I want to help you save some time. Better Photo, my business, has been such a blessing. And I remember how it all started. A friend of mine showed me how she was doing her master's thesis on this new thing called the World Wide Web. I was so excited, and it sounds so crazy now. But can you imagine? I was so excited about the ability to publish without having to get the approval of some editor. When I learned about the World Wide Web, I got HTML for Dummies and I programmed my own website and I worked at it evenings and nights. And 4 years later, I got an email saying, "Would you please write a book for us?" And I was so excited. I had always dreamed of writing a book. And that led into many other books. And one of them even became a bestseller. And I'm so proud of these books. And I've learned so much along the way. This initial success led to developing online photography courses as well as in-person workshops. And I remember one workshop got $23,000 at auction for a one-day workshop. I was so excited and I was really happy. It was all for a good cause. And at the end of the day, I'm just a guy who was in the right place at the right time, and I left when there was an opportunity. It's just been so many blessings, one after another, as I've found these solutions for making better and better photography and having many adventures along the way. And I'm still learning. One thing I love about photography is that it involves lifelong learning. There's no end to it. You can continue growing forever and having a blast along the way. It's an adventure. I've spent much of the past 30 years working with photography enthusiasts from around the world. And as we've learned together, I've tried out all sorts of techniques and tools and resources, finding out firsthand what works and what doesn't work, what gives quick results, and what's more of a distraction. What's that shiny object that is just distracting and wasting time? And as I've learned all these techniques and tools that actually work, it's been the community that has really knocked my socks off the most. The Better Photo community is something I'm so grateful for. It's so supportive. Photography doesn't have to be a lone wolf sport anymore. It's so awesome that like-minded people from around the world can share and join forces and learn together. So to show my appreciation, I want to share with you the things that have been most effective. And in my online photography courses and my books, I love to show students the winning techniques, the techniques that make the biggest impact. And I do this mainly by utilizing before and after photos. It's such a simple technique. I show one image of a result that would be before without using the winning technique. And then I show another one that employs something that just makes a little bit of difference. And like in this one, it's not a bad photo, but if I just slow the shutter speed, I get that soft cotton candy effect. And when you see that improved version right after the before photo, it's wow. It really makes you understand that this is the technique. The effect becomes obvious. And you know for sure when you see the before and after what technique is being used, and you remember it. It gets into your body. You fully understand it. And sometimes both before and after photos are really effective. Maybe it's just a small, subtle difference, and sometimes you end up with two winners. The important thing is to know when to use that particular setting, perspective, or piece of equipment. When I was first teaching myself photography, I remember poring over the thick, poorly written owner's manual. I remember painfully learning the how of each particular setting. And honestly, I remember often pulling my hair out as I learned it. I learned how to change things like aperture, exposure compensation, I learned how to do things like turn off autofocus, manually change my shutter speed. But those camera manuals never told me why I would want to do that. They never told me when I would need to use a particular feature or tool. I'll bet you can relate. I'll bet that you've made some pretty awesome photos, photos that you're really proud of. Now it's time to add to that and take your understanding to a whole new level. Now it's time to do that even more consistently. So, how do we make photos that wow on command? And how do we make sure that these photos get seen by an audience? One of the techniques that I really enjoy so much, could be my absolute favorite technique, is called isolating your focus. It's simply isolating the focus of the photo so that you have more impact and you get magnificent, stunning photos. We have a depth of field. Everything can be in focus from the closest object to the farthest. And sometimes it's really great to have extreme depth of field, to have everything in focus. Think Ansel Adams. But other times, you can isolate that focus on one particular item, like I did for this flower here. You can just focus on, say, just the little accents of light, and you direct the viewer's eye to that particular part of your photo, and you get much more impact. Or you could choose the portrait mode to isolate that focus. Another way is you can change your shutter speed or your aperture so that you get a deep, dark foreground and silhouette that object. It gets a bright background and simplify your composition in this way. Or you can take a photo that you like and just with a few quick tricks in post-processing, you can make all the colors just pop. All right, are you ready for a little lightning round? Let's have some fun here. Okay, first of all, number one, you need to edit your work so carefully. Go through all your photos and cut them down by half, and then do that again and again. And remember, carry your camera with you everywhere you go. And when you see something, stop. Go ahead and give yourself that gift of stopping and taking many photos. And then become photo literate. Browse daily. Look at everything that you do and everything that other photographers do, and become very good at understanding what makes a really good photo. And if you comment on other people's work, give them specific thoughts on ways that they can improve. And in this way, you'll learn what you need to do as well. Also, remember that before and after technique. And even if you make a photo that you just love, go ahead and try it with a different setting. And even if it becomes a photo that you don't like as much, you have a pair of photos that you can compare and really understand what happened, and use what I call the seesaw of exposure. It's a great technique for simplifying things like aperture and shutter speed so that you can remember exactly what you need to do next time. In that same light, I like to encourage people to become what I call an avid photographer. AV stands for aperture priority, I stands for ISO, and D stands for daylight white balance setting. These are three settings that you can have preset on your camera so that when you grab it on your way out the door, you are ready to go. And with the same idea in mind, you can simplify your post-processing. We'll explore different simple controls so that you can decide maybe there's just three that you can focus on. And then you can do that each and every time when you look at a photo to get rid of that sort of overcast, milky look and make your photos absolutely shine. And when you do that, you want to keep it subtle. The most common question I hear all the time is, what kind of camera do I need? And do I need one of those big expensive cameras with the big expensive lenses? And the joy of it is the answer is no. You simply want to use whatever is in your pocket. If you have a smartphone, use it. If you have a mirrorless camera, have that strap around your neck so that you can take pictures all the time. The second most common question I get is this going to take a lot of time to learn? We all feel so busy, but you know what? Photography is the kind of thing that you should be using your time for, living your life to the fullest. If you enjoy getting out and you enjoy making photos of your adventures, then wouldn't that be the best use of your time? I personally love how photography has taught me, for example, to appreciate light. By investing in this technique and learning to appreciate light now, everywhere I go, I learn to enjoy what I see even more. My life has become enriched and I enjoy my adventures even more. And I get to relive those adventures when I review those gorgeous photos afterwards. Investing a bit of time, it's the very best thing that you can do. It's the very best gift that you can give yourself. Photography really pays off, and it pays off as an investment in the actual experience. And also, it pays off to put a little bit of investment in how to make sure that you get those photos to other people to see them. I promise you, I'm going to share my very best techniques for getting photos that wow, as well as my very best techniques for promoting those photos and multiplying both investments so that you get the maximum reward from those investments. You want to have quality experiences and you want to have quality results when it comes to sharing those photos. Marketing, like I said at the beginning of this video, it doesn't have to be just about business. It doesn't matter if you're just doing photography for fun. You are still going to want to know exactly how to get your photos out there. Even if you're not selling your photos or your services like a wedding photographer, you need to know how to cut through all the noise that's out there and make it more satisfying for yourself and your viewers. And when you get people looking at your photos, it will really stimulate your motivation. You'll feel inspired to get images like this, where you take an image that seemed to work but was a little off, and you just improve it. You make images that are better, and that stimulates your own motivation and inspiration. You can get photos at all of your travels. We took this one at England. Or you can get wildlife photos that really wow. If you really enjoy and love and appreciate animals like I do. Or you can just have fun with friends. Either way, this video, think of it as an invitation to leave hope behind. I want you to replace hope with certainty. Think of yourself as a before and after picture. Imagine yourself on the beforehand feeling frustrated. I missed the shot. I didn't get the shot. It didn't do justice to the scene. Or I seem to be stuck on the auto settings. I don't understand when I should be going into particular features or settings. And I want to understand more, but I'm just not getting the results that I want. Now replace that. Imagine yourself. Maybe it's a few months from now. Maybe it's even just next month. And you're feeling so confident. You're feeling like you can be flexible with the controls and you got the shot. You're about to get vastly better at your photography. You're about to enjoy photography even more. Can you imagine that? Enjoying it even more. And you're about to feel inspiration so often. Most of all, imagine yourself standing tall, feeling really proud because you've got the shot and you know how to get the shot again and again. Not to mention, along the way, you're going to make great friends. You're going to make friends that are like-minded people who also love photography. So you're going to get to be able to share the experience with people who really understand your passion for making beautiful images. You're going to learn along the way in this free workshop how to play with AI. You can play with AI to make images, but also if you'd like to just keep making images with your camera, you can use AI to make them even better or to promote yourself or your photography in a super quick and efficient way. For the next video, I'm going to share with you tips and techniques, resources for marketing and sharing your best work in the smartest way. And further in this workshop, I'm going to share with you specific AI tools for making your photography and your photo promotion even more enjoyable. Because this is what it's all about. We're doing photography for joy. We're doing this for fun. So what would it be like if we maximized that fun? Let's have some fun together and stay tuned because in an upcoming video, I'm going to share with you my number one most important technique that I've learned all the years for making great photos. But first, I want to know more about you. In the description below, click the link to opt into this free video workshop if you haven't already. And then in the comments, tell me, what does it mean to you to be able to consistently create photos that wow? Why is it important to be able to get those photos again and to be able to promote your work to get more people seeing your photos? Scroll down below this video and tell me in the comments. And if you haven't already, why haven't you smashed that like button? Why don't you give it a little click? We're going to be clicking with our cameras. So let's start practicing now. Click that little like button on this video. I appreciate all the comments and let me know what I can do to further help you make photos that just wow and then to get them to other people so successfully. All right, I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, have fun making images that pop. Or get your favorite image out right now and play with it in the photo editing software of your choice and see what happens and let me know how it goes so that we can make this free workshop the very best it can be for you. Signing off, this is Jim at BetterPhoto. Have a fantastic time making photos that pop.